And this is great, man. We got Colton on the show with us.
What's up?
It's been more than a minute, my man.
It's been a hot minute. This is my first radio interview in pre-COVID.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my goodness
it's gracious!
Crazy. So what have you been doing with your time? Like you've been hanging out with your family? I know we got a bunch of family stuff that we're gonna get into for sure.
Family has been a big chunk of that.
Yeah.
But honestly, being off the road has been a huge blessing this past year. But yeah, it's just been crazy. And now we're gearing back up to do it again. So
well, here's the thing. I do want to talk about this, though, because it's been a long time since you and I have talked, too. And, like, you know, there was a time you would be introduced as, you know, former American Idol Colton Dixon. And now I think it's really switched more into, hey, here's Colton Dixon. I think he used to be on American Idol, right? You know?
Yeah.
And, like, did you ever realize or were you aware of when that transition actually kind of happened for you? And, like, did it hang on longer than you thought?
I know some contestants who've been on the show who it's lasted their entire career. Mm-hmm. I've known others like Carrie Underwood or Daughtry or whatever that it's sure that's in the back of people's minds, but their music has kind of spoken for themselves.
Sure.
I think I don't know if I'm all the way there yet, but I've noticed a gradual decline in American Idol questions.
I think you're getting closer to like being like in the total rear view for sure.
Yeah, but I'm not sure when that happened. But I have noticed a steady decline in how are the judges or how was your experience, which is kind of nice if I'm honest.
No, I get that. But now you got to be looking back like as a father and stuff, and you know, as an adult, like were you prepared for what happened as a result of all of that stuff? Do you think you were prepared for that, or was it just like my head's swirling, I don't even know what to do now. I'm this kid, you know?
I think it was a combo of both.
Sure.
I knew that I was going to do music to some degree, but I didn't know what doors God was going to open, and he completely, you know, rocked my world with the American Idol thing, and it was a season of hanging on for dear life, but I knew that he was behind me in it too, so there was this like reassurance of like, okay, I'm going to be fine, but man, this is crazy.
Right.
It's just crazy. Hang on, because here we go. Yeah.
I would guess too, like you look at this and you go, okay, this served its purpose for you and in that season and stuff. Do you ever look back and go, man, I wish I'd done this differently? Or are you like, I really think this is the way it's supposed to go?
Yeah, of course. I would have probably not done red leather pants.
Yeah. No, what? No, I'm not going to say yes. I'm going to say you should have. You did. That was really a good, bold fashion choice.
Yeah, we went for it there, didn't we? Yeah, there are a few things I do different, but overall, I'm super happy with the way things turned out. And now I wouldn't change anything now.
Right.
But going back and getting in the nitty gritty, I'm like, I'd probably choose a different song here. Or
I get that.
Different pants here. Yeah.
Different pants here. I think I'm still wearing skinny jeans at 53.
Yeah, brother.
At 63, I'm going to look back and that's probably not a good choice, you know? Okay, last question about Idol, then we're going to move on, okay? Like, if you could go on a singing competition today, knowing what you know now, would you go on The Voice, American Idol, or America's Got Talent?
Man, I have issues with The Voice, and
what are they?
And
tell.
Here they are. I think the battle rounds. I haven't seen The Voice in a long time.
Right.
I think the battle rounds are so unfair because you pin up like the gospel chop singer with like the singer songwriter guy, and it's just not. Of course, the gospel chop person is going to just completely annihilate the singer songwriter singer.
Right.
So I would watch those and go, "Oh, this is just so not." It would be like judging my music up to like Lecrae's music, and it's like, wait, I don't even know how to compare these.
They're so different categories.
Yeah. So that was my like thing with The Voice. I thought the initial round is brilliant.
The initial round of the chair turning,
amazing.
And here's the thing, like The Voice, I watched all of those episodes, and when the chair stopped turning, I was out.
Yes.
Because I liked the uniqueness of that, and then I didn't like the battle rounds.
Yes.
And so that chair thing is genius.
Yeah. I'm not trying to throw shade, but that's my deal with The Voice. So I'd probably do Idol again.
Yeah.
Even though I don't think Idol is what it used to be.
Yeah. It's a little kinder now.
It is kinder.
They focus more on stories and stuff.
But I feel like all of the restrictions that were on us when we were on Idol have lifted a little bit too. So you can release your own music, and I'm sure they own it, but you can still have the liberty to like do what you want to do. You know, I'm sure there's some back end stuff with that, of course, but with us, it was like, hey, don't speak unless you're told to speak.
Wow.
It was very like,
Yeah.
very controlled environment, which I understand. But
Sure.
I think that's eased up a little bit too. So it'd be cool to go through it with that
the new version of it.
Yeah,
Without
cool.
a doubt. You go from, American Idol alum, singer-songwriter, rock star, husband and father, like how crazy has that been now? Like being a dad, that's got to be, because you did it like in one fell swoop. Like you didn't just have one kid, you had two.
Yeah, we my wife and I had twins back in August, right in the middle of crazy town, and man, it's been amazing. It's been crazy, but it's been amazing. They're 7 months old, and it's just so strange. I always looked at parents. Like I'd be in church and the pastor would start talking about parents and I would just check out, right? I'm like, oh, I'm not there.
Yeah,
and
not me.
I feel like I will never really be there. I just felt too young or not. I don't know. But here we are. And I'm like, dang it, I wish I would have paid attention.
Yeah, I should have learned something.
Yeah, my wife was like, yeah, I wish you would have paid attention too. But it's been amazing. I've learned now more than ever that my wife is a beast.
Oh,
She's
sure.
just a rock star. I'm like, wow, yeah, you're killing it.
There is something I'm really glad to see from you, though, because like when I had a kid and then just time set in and I got dad bod, and it just happens. And so you'll be there someday. But like the thing I'm really happy about for you is that you didn't get dad hair. Like you still are rocking your do, your coif. I love that. Like you didn't sell out. You're still in it. You're the cool dad, man.
I'm still in it. It's a little shorter.
It's not as mohawky.
It's not as mohawky.
Right.
But yeah, I'm still waving it proud.
Show me the face you made when you found out you were having not one but two kids at the same time.
First of all, I was this color. And so, backstory. My wife and I never sat down over dinner and had the official conversation, let's have kids.
Oh, wow.
So
okay.
Finding out that there was one on the way was already a fun surprise.
Sure.
And I was excited. I was so excited. Of course, there's a lot of unknown with that. My wife kind of got like nervous laughter tears, when she told me.
Yeah.
But I was like, I did my role as a husband. I did it really well. I'm like, we got this, talked her up. I was like, I'm glad that went well.
Yeah. So you were calm.
On the outside. On the inside, I'm like, okay, this is going to change things.
Yeah.
And then 13 weeks go by, and we finally get to our technician to have ultrasound and all that stuff. And she freaked us out, man. She was like, "Hey, have you guys been to a technician yet?" And we're like,
no,
this is our first one. What's up?" And it was just like worst case scenario came into our heads and hearts.
Because then you start worrying about your child.
Yeah, and her tone. I'm like, man, you need to fix that, technician. But she's like, well, I don't know how to tell you this, but there's two of them in there. And I'm just like,
wait, what?
I was standing.
Yeah.
We thought we might figure out gender that day.
Right.
So I was like pumped. I'm like, whatever it is, I'm going to be pumped. But I'm just like ready to know. So I'm up. I'm pacing the room. She tells me that. And I'm like, hey, I'm going to sit down in the corner. You just... So I sit there. It's a miracle I didn't throw up. My wife, again, nervous laughter. She was laughing so hard, tears pouring out of her face. Toward the end of the visit, I whipped out my phone and videoed the ultrasound where there's the two babies in it. It's just crazy. But it took a while for that to set in.
Yeah, I can't even imagine.
Wait. So... 2 strollers and double diapers.
Here's something else you haven't thought of: 2 college tuitions.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
wow.
You're like, I'm only 17 months into this, man.
Thanks for that.
That is crazy. And then the other thing is too, like I had heard that you guys had like a scare with Ava Dior, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
And I love the names, by the way, Ava Dior and Athens Elizabeth. Like, where did those come from? Like Dior, like are you a big? Like, I would have gone with Prada, but whatever.
We talked about Gucci for a second, but
it's too cliche.
It's a little too cliche. Man, those were actually names that my wife had proposed early on, and they were always kind of in the running. And we like things to be right, so we will wait till the very last second to pull the trigger on something just to explore all options. So I remember hearing Athens and Dior at one point and going, man, those are super unique. I'm like, we live in Tennessee, so we're going to get looks.
Right, yeah.
But we're also millennials, so we have a pass.
So it's fine. Yeah.
But yeah, so Dior means golden.
Oh, I didn't know
and Ava
that.
means to live like a bird.
Oh, wow.
Athens is strong and courageous. So we actually were going to name them opposite. Dior was going to be Athens and Athens Dior. But when Dior came out first, she wasn't breathing. The birthing process had started, so she was already in the birth canal, and she went into shock or something happened, so it kind of shut down her system. So when she came out, we saw her and immediately knew something's not right. So we started praying in the spirit, praying with the words we knew how.
Yeah.
And we were like, God, be with Ava Dior right now. And we didn't even realize like the naming things, but it's so cool looking back because Ava means to live.
That's
so
amazing.
We were fighting, man.
Yeah.
And it was so cool. Even after writing a song like Miracles for a bunch of other people at the time.
Right.
In that moment, it's like, okay, God, like I've seen you do it for other people. I've seen you do it for me in other areas. We need it right now.
Yeah.
And it was so cool to see her pulse come back and yeah.
I can't.
Awesome.
Yeah, I can't even fathom that. Like,
it's
what
crazy.
That would be
It felt
like
like an eternity. I'm sure it was all
yeah.
of 60, 70 seconds, but it's still like
that's enough. I remember when my wife was giving birth, the doctor, I remember he leaned over to somebody and says, we have to get this child out now. And I heard him. And I'm like, oh, man.
Yeah, man.
And
stuff like that.
She was kind of crashing. And it's like, oh, my gosh, you know. And your whole world implodes to this person you've never even met yet, but your life is revolving around them already.
Yeah.
It's powerful, man.
It is. Not to turn it into church, but when we face situations like that are all emotions are very heightened, whatever, they can get in the way of logic and what we know to be true in God's word. And ultimately it boils down to this choice of faith or fear.
Sure.
God can work with faith. He cannot work with fear. It's plain and simple, cut and dry. When we come with faith, I'm a firm believer that faith is what precedes miracles and precedes God moving. So when we come with that, he's like, all right, like, that's right. You're my child. Like, here we go. Let's do this thing. So it's not always an easy decision. I said that like it's easy, but it's not. It was a difficult decision, but we clung to that and happy and healthy babies. So
there you go. That's that's all you can pray for and hope for, man, for sure. I love having you in. We don't get to see you enough. And so that's why we're going to do Confirm or Deny.
Let's go.
These are rumors that I've heard about you or started about you.
Oh,
okay.
No.
So you just need to confirm or deny them.
Okay.
All right. All right. Confirm or deny. Colton Dixon is not your full legal name.
That's correct.
Yes.
Confirmed.
See, a lot of people didn't know that. I didn't even know this. Gavin looks shocked. Gavin's like wondering what else you've lied to him about. Yeah, because your first name is, wait, don't tell me. No, tell me. Colton's your middle name.
It's correct. Michael is my first name.
That's it.
I've gone by Colton my whole life, so it's not really a lie when I say my name's Colton Dixon.
Okay, so that wasn't just a thing you did when you started getting good at music.
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah, I've always gone by Colton, but my dad's name is Michael as well.
Gotcha. Yeah. Confirm or deny, you have a dog named after the self-proclaimed Prince of Darkness, Ozzy Osbourne.
My parents did.
Okay.
Partial confirm.
Okay.
Yes. Not named after Osbourne. It was named after a baseball player.
Ozzy, what's his name? Ozzy, he played with the Cardinals. Ozzy Smith?
Yes.
Look at that. Somebody from the background there helping us out.
Well done.
Okay, because I thought that would be weird if your parents had a dog named after Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah, no, that would be strange.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Ozzy.
Good. I'm glad. See, this is why we're working these things out. Again, because I don't
Clear
want
the
people to
air
get
here.
the wrong idea of you. Confirm or deny, you know how to do face painting.
That is true. My only job besides music was airbrush face painting.
See, again, these are things people don't know, and they would not believe me if I told them. But when you tell them, what was your favorite thing to face paint?
My favorite place to paint was Predators games. Still to this day, well, once we're allowed to go back in full circle, walk up to the face painting booth, and you will see a little me with my face painted as one of the options to pick from.
Are you serious?
Yep, I've got a bowl cut. Whole
No
thing.
way. That's so great. I will be looking for that next
You
time
should.
for sure.
Yeah,
Confirm or deny, you were actually in a Hannah Montana movie.
confirm. You're correct.
This is unbelievable. The stuff we're learning. Gavin looks so shocked right now. The stuff we're learning about cool Colton Dixon.
Yeah, cool. Colton Dixon.
So you were in Hannah Montana movie. I heard you were like an extra.
I was an extra. I stood close to Billy Ray Cyrus, which is kind of cool.
Nice.
Before he blew up again.
Did you ever get to meet Hannah?
I did not.
Miley?
No, I did not.
That's a bummer.
Saw her from afar.
Yeah.
I will say though, I've always loved that song, The Climb.
I have too, actually. Yeah, I don't hate that.
We were the first audience to hear her sing that song. And even when she sang it, there's just something spiritually, like, it's got spiritual mojo on that song.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I listened to it, I'm like, as a listener of Christian music, especially at the time, I'm like, hey, that would be really cool to hear on the radio. And then lo and behold, it happened.
How old were you?
I was 16, 17 maybe.
That's good. It's not like you're like 25 hanging out at a Hannah Montana set.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. We had just signed up with this agent in Nashville, and it was literally a week later. They're like, hey, Hannah Montana movie needs extras, but it pays good. And I'm like, I'm in.
Done. Absolutely.
I'm in.
Absolutely. I was in I Can Only Imagine for 8 seconds, maybe 7, maybe 6. We don't know. But it was great. It was so much fun.
Isn't it fun?
Yeah, and I got paid and I got residuals. Like, come on.
Exactly.
I know, right?
It's like, I'm in on this.
I'll do more.
Yes.
I'm a hired gun.
Yeah,
and finally, confirm or deny with Colton Dixon. Being on a mainstream label like Atlantic means you have completely turned your back on God.
That is false. You know what's so funny though? So many people think that way.
Right, I know, that's the thing.
And I was one of them. Like I won't name names, but bands that I loved, they would put out, 2 versions of the same song, and one would be God, another, whatever it was. And I'm like, man, like, do we have to do this? Like, can we just let the music speak for itself? But I was so naive in my thinking. I'm sure those bands or artists saw opportunities to go outside the church, and that's exactly what's in front of me right now. Coming from a show like Idol, there's so many people that would never set foot in a church, would never listen to the Wally Show. They didn't know what they were missing, obviously, but they just didn't live life that way. But what I love about God is He meets people where they are, and He can use Christian artists to reach people outside the church.
Absolutely.
It might have to be packaged in a very unique way that only God knows, and hopefully He sheds some light on that. But it's this cool opportunity that I have to not only service the church with music that is theological and has deep biblical roots, but at the same time, a lot of these songs that I've written have been with people who don't go to church, who don't believe in God.
Right.
But we write something that means something to both of us, and that was super important to me because I'm like, man, if I can't write with someone and come up with something that we both believe in, how is this even gonna transcend the Christian genre anyway? So I feel that big on my heart for this new stuff, to be able to reach people outside the church. So it's cool to see it working. Yeah, and I'm excited.
And that's what we're all called in different ways. Like if you ask Toby's like, I'm for the church.
Yep.
But then your path is going a different direction, and you reach people he won't, he reach people you won't. Like
exactly.
That's how it's supposed to.
We have different lanes, one body, many parts.
That's it.
And yeah, man,
that's it.
It's hard to remember that sometimes. It's
sure.
easy to look at the left or the right and go, man, what they're doing is so cool, or whatever. You're on tour for King Country, and you're like, man, their set is just so cool. Like, why can't we do something like that? But it's like, you know what? They're reaching people I won't, and I'm reaching people they won't, and it's totally the way God meant it to be.
That's it. So, that's exactly it. Colton Dixon, obviously you can check him out here, and man, I'm just a fan, so I love having you on the show.
Thanks, brother. I love being here. Appreciate it.